Hey, hey, my joyful people. How you doing? It's so good to see you. This is Kimberly Joy Morgan of Do All Things with Joy, and I am excited to be here because this is the place where health and wellness meets passion and purpose. So today we're talking about the digital detox. And as I'm sitting here, I'm realizing how much social media / computers / tablets / phones take over our lives, to the place where there are 30 things I'm going to bring to you today that can improve or will improve if we put down the phones, put down the tablets, put down the laptops every once in a while. It's pretty scary. So the first thing I'm going to talk to you about is if you put down your phone, you will improve your posture. That's what I said. That's right. So here's the deal. When we're sitting at our computers, a lot of times we're in this position, right? We're hunched over something. Unless you're at a standing desk and you actually put the laptop higher, it forces you to come up more. So your hands are here instead of down and hunched over. When you're on a screen, your neck is already just pushing forward. So this is creating over time stress on our spine that is unnecessary. Hey, Jacqueline, so good to see you, babe. So stress on our spine over time. So your posture will improve when you're not in this position 8 hours a day. What's up, Tisha? So good to see you. Posture is number one. It can also cure your insomnia. Now, one of the things people don't realize is that blue screen can cause issues with your eyesight. We'll talk about that as well, but also with the melatonin release in the brain at the right time, because it mimics you are at 12 noon every day, all hours of the day. And so at 11 o'clock, if you're still staring at a screen, guess what it does? It can affect the brain waves and your ability to shut down. People are sleepy. They're like, I can't sleep. What do? They pick up their phone. They start scrolling. They start doing this, thinking that it's going to help them wind down to fall asleep. It doesn't, y'all. It's the opposite. Pick up a good old-fashioned book and start reading the pages in dim light, and I promise you, you're going to see a change in that. So posture, it also can help cure insomnia the less you use this phone and computers and all of that kind of stuff. I'll also show you something. I'm going to turn on my light, and you can kind of see it there, but you see how kind of like there's blue in here where that light just came on? I have actual glasses that block the blue of the screen. So I just wanted to kind of give you that little piece of understanding that if you do wear glasses, try to get glasses that block the blue light. Very blue blockers. Remember those commercials for blue blockers back in the day? I guess I'm showing my age, but blue blocking is exactly what you need. It also can help you to become less depressed. Here's the deal. When we're staring at these screens and other people's lives and everybody's highlight reel, you start to feel bad about your life, feeling like, maybe I'm not living up to what I'm supposed to do. So it has been proven, and you can do research. I'll even include an article on my Facebook page, Do All Things with Joy, about how it can cause less depression and anxiety in people. So just keep that in mind, that letting the phones go down and taking a digital detox from especially social media can help with that. You will have less stress in your life. It actually, phones and being constantly connected increases cortisol levels in the body. So if you are in a place where you're feeling stressed all the time, putting the phone down and walking out in nature or reading a book or relaxing without any digital influence in your life is going to help you to reduce the stress, and your cortisol levels will decrease. So it'll also help you kick your addiction by putting the phone down. Guess what? I, Kimberly Morgan, am addicted to social media and digital marketing and all that. Let me tell you something. If you try to stop and you can't, or if you say, hey, erase your Facebook account, don't get on it for 2 weeks, and you have a sense of anxiety over that, that's an addiction. Shh, it is. So I'm making an announcement. I'm going to be very absent from social media for a while because I'm realizing how dependent I am on it. I know I claim it's for my business, but it's becoming to a place where I'm like, not the best. Hey, Christopher. Hey, Valerie. So good to see you guys. Hop on. So understand that putting it down will help you see whether you are addicted to it or not. And if you are, I encourage you. I'm sure that I'm not going to have the best algorithms for this video, but I'm sure that taking some time from a digital detox and detoxing from that is going to show you whether or not you do have an addiction. So it'll help by putting it down. You'll also exercise more. Imagine that. When you have more free time, people are like, oh, I don't have time to exercise. You have no idea how much of a time suck you use. If you even do the screen time on your phone to see how much time you're spending, it's almost astronomical. When you look at it, you're almost like, how do I have 2 extra hours in my life to look and scroll, even when I'm sitting in line or whatever? I could be reading a book or I could be doing something else. But trust me when I tell you that you will find you'll have more time to exercise and get out, and it will improve your health. When we sit, they call sitting, for those of us who have desk jobs, the new cigarette. And it is actually affecting our cardiovascular system like smoking a cigarette would do. Okay, so understand that the more you can get up, get your desk, ask your employer to help you to get a standing desk, buy one for your home, use a high counter instead of sitting the whole day. It is imperative to stand more because it is affecting our cardiovascular health just as much as smoking a cigarette is. And there's plenty of research out there to see that. So getting away and digital detox will help with that. It also improves self-esteem. Did you know that as we're looking at these images that have been filtered and doctored up and all of that, we start to feel bad about ourselves because we don't measure up. And the strongest person out there, you're gonna be like, it doesn't affect me. It actually does. Subliminally, you may not realize that those cues are coming in that you're not skinny enough, you're not pretty enough, your makeup isn't right, you maybe need to get eyelashes, or, oh, I need to get this kind of hair, or I need to do this. Trust me when I tell you, detoxing and not spending so much time on social media makes a difference with that. You'll also have more time to read, which I talked about before. Your focus will improve. Oh my gosh, they have now confirmed through actual research that goldfish have a longer attention span than humans. That is not good. That is not good, y'all. I do not want a goldfish to have more of an attention span than I have. So understand that your focus will improve. You will be able to have control over your schedule. You figure out what time you want to do what you want to do. And I'm not saying get rid of the digital altogether, but let's say maybe you say, I'm only going to be on the computer for an hour or 2 hours a day. Get creative with your time and very strategic, and then put it away. That's kind of what I'm going to, that streamlining my schedule for that. Reduce eye strain. Remember, get the blue block if you wear glasses, but it can also create an issue with your eyes over time, especially staring at these screens, and especially how close we stare at the screens and watching movies and videos. We weren't created in a sense for our bodies to have to do this and to keep up with it. So understand that. Your memory will improve. That's all that cognitive thing. A lot of times we don't really remember phone numbers anymore. There's no reason to memorize anything. We don't memorize Bible verses. I'm just giving an example because everything's at our fingertips. So we're like, I can Google it, right? Like we don't do that. So that is a major issue in the sense that we are not using our brains to memorize information because we feel like we can always have it at our fingertips. And why learn it, right? Less anxiety, we kind of talked about that, depression, anxiety. And there are specific articles that link to that. And if you want the data behind it, just understand that it can create that heightened sense of anxiety. Better diet. So I know you're like, how can it create a better diet? Well, one of the things is if you are constantly looking at images of food, a lot of times it causes people to overeat. So that's one of the things I want you to make sure that you're understanding, that when you're feeding your body different things, especially when you're not looking maybe at the healthiest food choices, your diet will shift and change based on that. You'll start thinking for yourself. Remember what I was telling you about not Googling everything or seeing other people's ideas all the time. You're forced to come up and create your own. And that can be very exciting in a creative world. So a lot of creatives will actually not be on social media or things like that, just so that they can spend more time reflecting what their own ideas are and not taking on the ideas and ways of the masses. It'll help to improve your relationships. Trust me, Being on the phone with somebody or being in the house with someone watching TV and they're on their phone while you're watching television or together and you're supposed to be doing something together. Or let's just take the whole screen thing out in general. Like you're out to dinner. How many people do we see where there are two people sitting there at the dinner table and they're like on their phones and they're not engaging with one another at all? That's not a way to improve a relationship, especially if you're in a married relationship or an intimate relationship with somebody. Not the best for improved communication. Also, you will boost creativity. We kind of talked about that with thinking for yourself. It'll increase your attention span. So remember that goldfish thing? We want to make sure that we're staying there with our attention, and you will all actually relax more. So the constant bombardment of images and information and all of that actually causes a heightened sense of anxiety. It does not allow you to relax more. You don't usually stop and process thoughts. You think about that shower time that we have when all of a sudden great ideas come to us. They come to us because we're not multitasking. We don't have things bombarding our brain. And so you'll have more of that. You'll improve your brain function. There's plenty of data out there to show. And you will have more real work-life balance because you're not bringing that digital work home all the time. You're setting your boundaries. Guess what? You'll get to know you. Who are you? What do you like? Not what other people are doing and what they like. So that's a beautiful thing. You'll have more time for, like I said, that default mode, which is that shower mode. You'll be happier, less of a narcissist, less selfies, less look at me. And you'll have an increase in your productivity. You will find that you are not, a lot of times people are actually working, they're documenting, they're sitting at their desk and they have their phone by them and they are working for like 5 minutes and then they pick up their phone to see what they missed. And they're working and then they pick up their phone to see what they missed. So you'll have more productivity. And this is the one big thing that I love, two things. You'll have increased empathy. And you say, how is that? Well, there is a term for that, saying people who say nasty things on social media and emails in general when they're not there. It's called online disinhibition effect, right? So you are emboldened to say and do things because the person on the other side never sees it. Like I could say whatever I want to say right now and no one is really reacting to me. I don't see anyone's facial expression. You might put a thumbs up or you might give a heart or a frown face, but it's not necessarily me seeing your reaction to me saying something possibly nasty. That's why I always say share the joy. Don't share nastiness. And then the last thing I want you to think about is that when you put the phone down and you don't use the phone to ask questions, you have to ask other people questions. Gives you an opportunity to form real relationships. I think we're hiding behind this digital age and we're not really connecting with people. And if you study blue zones, that's where people live a really long time. One of the main things that they do in blue zones is connect with each other and share real stories together, face to face and in person. So instead of picking up and asking Google, why don't you pick up the phone and ask a friend, or better yet, invite someone to coffee and say, hey, can you teach me this skill? I know that this is not the most popular thing to say. I know that this is not, easy to take, and we all think that we're not addicted. I admitted for those who joined in late that I am actually addicted to using my phone, and I use my excuse all the time that it's for work. But I wanted to make a quick announcement and let everyone know that I will be taking a huge hiatus from all of this. I will still post videos, but they probably will not be live. I'm not quite sure the capacity that all of that's coming into, but I wanted to just kind of give you some food for thought to chew on, especially as you're working with your kids and understanding all of that. So I love y'all. For those who know how to get in touch with me, I have everything, a website. It's www.doallthingswithjoy.com. If you have any questions, feel free to email me. Do not be surprised if I'm not responding as much on social media, although I'll still be around here and there. It will be in a lot less functionality than I have been because I want to live a healthy, joyful life full of exercise and outside and productive, purposeful time. And I hope you do as well. So remember to share the joy and do all things with joy. Until next week, peace and blessings. Bye-bye.